say a little bit of nonsense before. The main thing I've got to say, I'm going to admit in a free way. The main reason I wanted to do this tonight, as much as I'm grateful for those of you in the room, is because there's that thing going. And that makes it easier to share what I want to say a little bit more broadly than just my beautiful folks and company. Okay. I wrote this piece 11 years ago. I didn't think I'd be reading it again. Today, I'm going to end a life. If I was in Ireland, chances are I'd probably die at the same time. Or if I was in Poland, it would be the same. In America, I'd likely get attacked for even thinking about it before my attackers try to make me believe in a God that will save my soul or some shit. And if I tried anything like it in an African, South American or South Asian country, I'd be excommunicated by my family and the town I lived in before either ending up in prison or being raped 10 times a day until some disease or a customer killed me. Apart from China, where they'd see it as an act of national pride, I'm pretty relieved that all I have to deal with here is keeping it a secret. Clearly, it's not something I'm taking lightly. I hadn't intended to end up in this situation. After all, I'm an independent woman, and although my history of mental health means I'm known for flaking out, melting down, it hardly predetermines that I'd end up having to go to this extreme. But you don't get to predict what your body is going to do 100% of the time. And a few weeks ago, after a day of the most carefree, fun, and mind-blowing sex of my life, I ended up pregnant. Before even taking the test, I'd known. My skin felt like it was stretching too tightly over my nerves, as if it might burst. The way I imagine a snake feels before it's about to shed a layer of its scaly covering. And inside me, too deep for my hands to reach inside and claw out, something heavy was sitting, making me want to vomit, curl up in bed, cry and run away from. Before that pink line of condemnation appeared within the cheap plastic indicator, I felt my body had stopped belonging to me, and all I've wanted these past weeks is to have it back. To be a mother is to give your life for your child. In every moment and with every thought, each baby should be loved and protected selflessly by parents who work tirelessly to ensure it is happy. Or at least that's how I believe it should be. But a child who is resented, unwanted, and carries the burden of its parents' failed relationship and mother's eventual suicide forever within its heart, what life is that? Eventual suicide. So you picked up on that. Well, okay, so I don't have any way of knowing for sure, but let's just say I've done my research, and I'm realistic about this stuff. I've spent enough time around babies to know what I'd do if I was left alone for days with a constantly crying child who I have no way of consoling and am unable to care for. I can't even look after myself. And what would become of the baby as I lie inert from agoraphobia and too disabled by fear to even go to the toilet? Like, seriously, I must have one of the strongest bladders in the country. I can resist movement for days when my terror is at its peak. That's not a mother any child deserves. And as for the dad, well, yeah, sure, he was there at the making stage, like, as I've mentioned, wasn't some turkey-basted job. But there aren't ever any guarantees of anyone staying around once things turn serious. Anyway, look around. He's not here today, is he? So I'm thankful that I have a choice. A choice that two doctors I've never met before had no problem in agreeing to, given my history. A little bit like them deciding whether an alcoholic should be allowed to have an operation on their kidneys, or if a victim of gang crime has the right to be treated for a stab wound. Bizarre that I should have to make a case to have this treatment on my own body, and that strangers have the ultimate say over whether I have to become a mother or not. I suppose mental illness is something to be thankful for after all. I had my breakfast at some god-awful hour bloody ages ago. I'm not allowed to eat or drink again until it's over, and it's already pissing me off. At times of anxiety, chocolate biscuits and sweet tea are the best substitute I've found for vodka cocktails and cigarettes. With a head fogged from insomnia, I'm finalising my decision on suitable abortion attire. It needs to be loose, comfortable clothing, but my jogging pants are way too skanky to wear in public, and jeans just don't have any give in them at all. So I pick out a dress. But I haven't shaved my legs since finding out, so I'd better wear really thick tights too. Will they tell me off for wearing tights? Sod it. Once they're off and I whip my dress up, the doctors will have easy access to my vital areas, so that'll have to do. I'm not allowed to wear nail polish either, or makeup. I didn't understand the whole nail polish thing until my friend told me it's in case I die whilst I'm under the anaesthetic. Apparently, the skin under your fingernails begins to turn blue. I hadn't known that before, and I wish I still didn't know it now, to be honest. I'm wary of looking too attractive or too unattractive. I don't want the doctors thinking, what a slut. No surprise she got herself in this state. But I also can't bear that they think, ew, how the fuck did that ugly bitch get laid in the first place? Who'd go near that? And most of all, I'm worried what will happen to me while I'm out of it. Like the notes that I've been given, they say that linings may tear, there could be complications, but they don't tell you anything about doctors that could be potential rapists who may take the opportunity to fuck you whilst you're out cold. A cup of tea and a fag would really help right now. Waiting to see the nurse, I flick through one of those out-of-date women's magazines and stare vacantly at pictures of ageing celebrity women next to articles about exercise regimes and happy marriages. There are other people in the waiting room, but I couldn't tell you how many or what they look like. I look at my bag, the stupid magazine, and the walls. I feel horribly alone, even though goodness knows how many other women are doing the same thing today. I'm locked inside my own fears, trying desperately to keep my breathing under control so I don't have a panic attack. The nurse is kind and doesn't judge me like I expect her to. I can't help wondering what she's thinking of me, if she's wondering why I'm here by myself. She puts so much lubricant on her hand that I barely feel her putting the 2 tablets that will initiate a miscarriage inside me. I undress in a cubicle and put on a gown ready for the procedure. The anaesthetist will come and see me shortly, so I sit virtually naked on a chair with a thick pad like a nappy stuffed into the disposable knickers I've been assigned, and wait. My mind wanders to what my boyfriend is doing today, whether he's thinking about me, if he's remembered it's happening today, and if he could have been here if he wanted to be, or if it really was something he couldn't get out of. A much younger and very emotional couple of several cubicles down, and when she gets led through for the operation, he has to be reminded that only patients are allowed into the next area. For a moment, it seems there might be trouble as voices are raised and tears are heard. The anaesthetist is friendly and calm, like everyone else on the ward. There's the nagging suspicion in my mind that I'm being checked out for the assault I've convinced myself is going to happen whilst I'm unconscious, but other fears are burning now too. Disoriented, having never needed to be in hospital before beside the incident 12 years ago, I don't fully understand where I'm being led to or what's going to happen next. I do as I'm told, my eyes wide as a toddler's, as I sit here, wait there, lie on this, and breathe from that. A doctor looks down on me and introduces himself. I can't reply or thank him, as there's a plastic mask over my mouth. And then I'm being wheeled to a recovery area, helped onto a chair, given a sandwich, handed tea. It's done. You need to go to the toilet first and then you can go home. I want to curl up on the armchair and go to sleep. I want to be held. I want him here with me, so that I didn't just do this by myself. So it wasn't my decision alone. It was yours too. You said you didn't want it either. We both decided this. I lied to the nurse about my friend coming to collect me. I don't want to cause a fuss. I get on the bus home by myself against all the advice I've been given. It isn't far anyway. Already I know it's all out. I can feel I'm no longer pregnant and my body belongs to me again. I'd never known before how very definitely you feel pregnant so early on. The strange intrusion of being with child. And the relief of being emptied. Raw inside, but free of responsibilities I cannot contain. Back at home, I wait with tea, biscuits, a jacket potato and Ribena for my friend to arrive to keep me company, like a child. When she arrives, I begin recounting the peculiar process of terminating a pregnancy as if it happened to someone else. The painkillers they put up my arse are still working like a dream when he calls a short time later, and I tell him I'm completely fine and make jokes as if I've been on a great adventure for the day. We both speculate on the chances of my tits staying swollen, filling my dresses better and more of a handful for him to play with. No wonder he doesn't worry when I'm so practiced at making it seem there's no reason to. When I hang up the phone, I don't realise that's the last time he'll call. As the night wears on, the pain increases and the hot water bottle is renewed several times whilst a crappy 80s movie plays out for distraction. My precious friend doesn't mind me endlessly rushing to the toilet as liquid of varying thicknesses and colours comes out of me. by tomorrow I'll be back to normal, apart from the brown blood that will continue to seep out of me for another 3 weeks. And in that time, I'll be nonchalant about this abortion that my world would be destroyed without, the catalyst that forced my perfect relationship from joyous to serious to over without my consent. Today, my mind drifts from my safe, self-pitying world to those countries where the decision about becoming a mother does not lie with each woman that will carry her child. And I remind myself that although I am alone, although he is gone, I am so very lucky that I have choice. Thank you.